Hello everyone, welcome to another class of income tax. In the earlier sessions, we discussed about the provisions in relation to set off and carry forward and set off of losses. What are the various possibilities and what are the various restrictions when it comes to set off, and the same way what are the restrictions on the carry forward of losses, and most importantly also how many years each kind of loss can be carried forward and against which kind of incomes such brought forward losses can be set off. These things were discussed in the earlier classes. As far as the provisions of this chapter is concerned, all the provisions have been already discussed. Now let us quickly go through the same provisions in a nutshell. We can consider this as a revision of all the provisions, the summary essence of this entire chapter contained in this particular flowchart. First of all, let us look at the inter-source set off of losses under the same head of income, of course, which is possible, that is allowed, but what are the exceptions to that inter-source set off of losses? Normally, any loss from one source of income can be set off against profit of the same head of income but from different source. There is no problem normally, except the following items. What are those exceptions? These are the 4 exceptions we talked about when it comes to inter-source adjustment. What are those 4? Loss from speculative business can be set off only against profits from speculative business. It cannot be set off against any other business profits. Same way, loss from specified business also can be set off only against the profits of another specified business. It cannot be set off against the normal business profits. Long-term capital loss cannot be set off against short-term capital gain. It can be set off only against long-term capital gain. Same way, loss from the activity of owning and maintaining resources can be set off only from or only against the profits from the same activity of owning and maintaining resources. This cannot be set off against any other income falling under income from other sources within the same head also. So speculative business, specified business, owning and maintaining resources, all three have one commonality. All these 3 losses can be set off against same type of income only. Means speculative loss can be set off against speculative income, specified business loss can be set off against specified business profit. Same way, loss from the activity of owning and maintaining resources can be set off only against profits from activity of owning and maintaining resources. These are the restrictions on intra-head but inter-source adjustments. And long-term capital losses is one more item which can be set off against long-term capital gain, no problem, but it cannot be set off against short-term capital gain. And one more point we have to note, these restrictions are one way. Don't try to implement reverse restrictions. Just for understanding purposes, can a normal business loss be set off against speculative business profit? Yes. Can a normal business loss can be set off? Can it be set off against specified business profit? Yes. There is no restriction. Same way, can short-term capital gain be set off against, can short-term capital loss be set off against long-term capital gain? Absolutely yes, there is no problem. So these are the restrictions only to them, not to the other items. That has to be always kept in mind. So these are the 4 restrictions for inter-head, inter-source, intra-head adjustment. These are the 4 restrictions we discussed about them. Then coming to the next one, that is inter-head adjustment. Inter-head adjustment means the loss arising from one head of income can be adjusted against the profits of other head of income. Normally it is okay. Once again, some restrictions will apply. What are those restrictions? Very important restriction. The loss under PGBP cannot be set off against the income under the head of salaries. No, not possible, not allowed. Same way, the three things that we already discussed earlier here, these three. Same restriction continues when interest source itself is not allowed. How can interhead be allowed? Not possible. So same restriction continues. The speculation loss, loss from specified business, not 35D, it is 35AD. It's a spelling mistake. So loss from specified business of 35AD, speculation business loss, and the loss from the activity of owning and maintaining resources cannot be set off against income under any other head. Of course, they cannot be set off even against the income under the same head also if it is not from same activity. So when same head itself, if the adjustment was not allowed, how can that be allowed against other heads? Impossible. So the same three things will continue here also. But the new thing here is the loss arising from PGBP cannot be set off against income under the head of salaries. Same way, the loss under the head of capital gains can never be set off against any other head. That is one more point to be noted. Capital gains loss, any loss, cash short term, long term, both. The head, capital gains itself has that restriction. The loss under the head of capital gains can not be set off against the income under any other head. So for capital gains, there is no possibility of inter-head adjustment at all. That has to be kept in mind. And of course, salaries do not have any of these two requirements. Why? Because salaries will always be having positive income. There is no possibility of set off also. So there is no question of intra-head, inter-head adjustment for salaries. Other heads, yes, income from house property, loss, can it be set off against the income of other heads? Yes. PGBP loss, can it be set off against the income from other heads? Yes. If at all there is any loss under income from other sources, though it is rare, can it be set off against income of other heads? Yes. So all are possible, but what is not allowed specifically? Capital gains is not allowed. Same way, when we talk about income from house property, is the loss under the head of income from house property possible to be set off against income of any other head? Absolutely yes, no problem. But where is the restriction? Restriction is to the amount, not for the head. So there is a restriction on the amount of such loss. How much can be set off? How much can be set off? Very clearly it was given. Only up to 2 lakhs rupees can be set off against incomes under any other head. So here there is no problem. Set off has no restriction. Loss from house property can be set off against any other head, but only to the extent of rupees 2 lakhs. That is a very important point also to be noted. These are the restrictions, what we know about how set off is allowed for inter-source adjustment and inter-head adjustment also. That is the summary of set off related provisions. What about carry forward and set off? What are the provisions related to that? First and foremost provision which should be always kept in mind, always. When it comes to carry forward and set off, there is no way of inter-head adjustment. That is not allowed, first of all. So there is no possibility of inter-head adjustment when it comes to carry forward and set off. First point. There is no way that inter-head adjustment can be made for brought forward losses. Means what? If any loss is brought forward from earlier years, that can be set off against the current year's incomes only within the same head. Within the same head only, not from any other head, not against incomes of any other head. That has to be, first of all, is a common point in all cases we have to remember. And some other restrictions which are already there, of course they will continue. For example, restrictions on capital gains. Here also is there, here also is there. Restrictions on capital gains, they will continue. They cannot be set off earlier also. Normally also they cannot be set off. How can that be possible after carrying forward? After taking them to future years, how can the new set off will be allowed? Not possible. If the same year itself it is not allowed, forget about brought forward losses being set off. So capital gains has restrictions continued even for carry forward, and other heads of incomes normally have no restriction for interhead adjustment except these things. Normally, for example, loss from house property, can it be set off against PGBP? Yes. Can it be set off against income from other sources? Yes. Can it be set off against salaries? Yes. Can it be set off against capital gains? Yes. It can be set off against anything, but to the extent of only 2 lakhs. So there is no restriction on or against which head this loss can be set off. But there is a restriction on against which head capital loss will be set off. That can be set off only against income from the head of same capital gains. So these restrictions are there. Can PGBP loss be set off against salaries? No. Can it be set off against income from house property? Yes, no restriction. Can PGBP loss be set off, say, against capital gains? Yes, there is no restriction. Can this be set off? PGBP loss be set off against income from other sources? Yes, there is no restriction. Restriction is only on what? Salaries. So where there is restriction, that only is restriction. Remaining things are not there. So inter-head adjustment is very much possible for all types of incomes. Salaries though anyway ruled out. There is no possibility of loss from that head. Capital gains inter-head adjustment is not possible at all. Remaining are, one is income from house property, possible to be adjusted against any head. Of course, only amount limited is 2 lakhs. Then PGBP losses, possible to be adjusted against any head except salaries. So loss from income from other sources is generally not possible. Only possibility in general could be activity of owning and maintaining resources. Anyway, that cannot be set off against any other income. So we don't need to worry about interhead adjustment for income from other sources loss. There will be not any loss from the head of income from other sources normally. Why we are using the word normally? Because income from other sources is a residuary head. Any new thing suddenly comes also, we should not be thinking that no, there cannot be a loss from income from other sources. There can be a loss, but that loss is not normally possible to be set off against other heads in normal circumstances, because there is no possibility of such loss. If there is any, there is no restriction. See, when there is no restriction, we don't have to create any restriction. So any loss from any other head of income can be set off against the incomes of other heads, only subject to these 4 restrictions. So interhead adjustment normally, very particularly speaking, PGBP and income from house property is allowed. There is no problem if when the loss and profit, the negative income and positive income, both are relating to the previous year. That is normal set off. But now what we are talking about is not normal set off. Now what we are talking about is carry forward and set off. Then the interhead adjustment is not at all possible. Any brought forward losses can be set off against only income under the same head of future years. So that is first point to be noted. One by one, if we see, most of them are common provisions. They are going to be repeated in almost all the cases as same. Let us take one by one. Again, salaries no possibility. Salaries has no possibility. But income from house property, unabsorbed loss from income from house property, can it be carried forward? Yes. How many years? 8 years. Can it be set off against any other head? No, sir, not possible. It can be set off only against income from house property. That is what we are talking. No interhead adjustment possible. So loss from house property which could not be absorbed in the earlier years can be carried forward to the next years, but it can be set off against the income from house property only. And how many years that can be carried forward like this? 8 years it can be carried forward. Same logic applies to PGBP also, nothing new. Unabsorbed business loss, can it be carried forward? Yes. How many years, sir? 8 years. Against which it can be set off? Only profits and gains of business or profession. Because again, this unabsorbed business loss or brought forward business loss, let us call them. Unabsorbed is nothing but brought forward. Brought forward loss from house property, brought forward business loss cannot be set off against any other heads. They can be set off, but only under the same head of income if there are any positive incomes. Let us say that year also there is no enough positive income. No problem. Carry forward to next year. Like that, how many years it can be carried forward? 8 years this can be carried forward. Same way, there are other types of businesses also. For example, loss from speculative business or specified business. All of them are possible to be set off. Already we know that loss from speculative business can be set off only against profits of speculative business only. That we know. There is a even restriction for same year, same head also. So there is no way that there can be relaxation for interhead. Then there is no way that there can be relaxation for carry forward and set off of losses, which means loss from speculative business definitely can be set off only against income of speculative business. But what is the point here to be noted for carry forward? Only point to be noted here is this loss from speculative business can be carried forward only for a period of 4 years, but not 8 years. Income from house property 8 years, PGBP losses 8 years, but speculative business loss can be carried forward only for a period of 4 years. Now moving on to another very special type of loss, that is loss from specified business. Loss from specified business under section 35 AD. Can it be set off against any income? Not possible, of course not possible. That is, here itself there is a restriction. So naturally there will be a restriction here also, naturally there will be a restriction here also. In all cases there is a restriction. What is the restriction? Loss from specified business can be set off only against profits of specified business. That restriction continues. But question here comes once again, how many years such loss can be carried forward? Answer is indefinitely. There is no restriction. So there are restrictions for everything. Income from house property 8 years, PGBP 8 years, speculative business loss 4 years, but loss from specified business can be carried forward indefinitely. That is another point to be noted in relation to business income. So speculative and specified businesses have special provisions. Other than that, normal business losses can be set off against any other PGBP income if they are brought forward from previous years. And carry forward period normally is 8 years for all, except for speculative business which is 4 years, specified business which is indefinite. Then when we come to capital gains chapter, there is a restriction here itself, which is long-term capital loss that cannot be set off against short-term capital gain in the current year also. Then there is definitely a restriction later. Then there is a definitely restriction here also, no doubt about it. So the long-term capital loss can be always set off against long-term capital gains only. When there is a restriction in the current year itself, definitely there will be restriction in the future years also. So there is nothing new as far as against which this can be set off. Against which a long-term capital loss can be set off? Only against long-term capital gains. But question once again comes, how many years this can be carried forward? Same 8 years, nothing new here. Even house property also, PGBP also, capital gains also. All losses can be carried forward for 8 years. What are the exceptions here? One is loss from speculative business, which can be carried forward for 4 years. Loss from specified business, which can be carried forward for a period of indefinite period. And not only that, same way, loss from activity and owning of owning and maintaining resources can also be carried forward for a period of maximum 4 years. And of course, as usual, then there is a restriction here. There will be a restriction here also. Loss from activity of owning and maintaining resources can be set off only against the income from the same activity of owning and maintaining race horses. So here coming to the capital losses once again, long-term capital loss can be set off against only long-term capital gains. Short-term capital loss can be set off against capital gains. Which capital gains? Any capital gains, naturally there is no restriction. There is no restriction here also, no restriction here also, no restriction here also. Why? We are talking about same head of income. So here there is no problem. Short-term capital loss can be set off against short-term capital gain also, long-term capital gain also. That is okay to be adjusted against. However, this can also be carried forward for a maximum period of 8 years. 8 assessment years after the assessment year in which this loss is computed. So once the loss is computed, leave that assessment year. After that 8 more years, such losses can be carried forward and set off. These are the provisions in relation to carry forward and set off of losses. Very important provisions. Everyone should be very thorough with this entire table. This itself is the nutshell of the entire chapter. There is nothing special about any other items here. However, there are Some things that we have to keep in mind in addition to these items. For example, let us say there is a income from, let us say, lottery, casual income. Question comes, can any other loss, let us say some person has incurred some loss from a business. Of course, a business loss, can it be adjusted against income from other sources gain, profit? Of course, yes, there is no problem in that. But the question is, can a business loss be adjusted against casual income? For that matter, any loss under any head of income, can it be adjusted against casual income? Answer is no, big no. So what we should conclude here, important point to note, the casual income cannot be used for the purpose of setting off any of the losses. We know this already in the chapter of income from other sources. Then itself we discussed casual income has certain special characteristics. What are the characteristics? Casual income like winnings from lotteries, games, TV shows, etc., gambling, all these things are casual incomes. What are the special characteristics of them? We should remember always. One of the characteristics is it is taxable at a flat rate of 30%. Directly it is taxable at a rate of 30%. No basic exemption limit for any person also. Straight away, if somebody got, let us say, 50,000 rupees lottery, straight he has to pay 15,000 rupees tax on that. No exception. So, no basic exemption limit applicable for casual income. No deductions are available for casual income, even though there are genuine expenses. No Section 80 deductions. Nothing possible. No set-off also is possible. Means what? Any other source, if that person has a loss, but he has got a positive income under casual income, these two cannot be set off. Not possible. Imagine there is a person who is doing business, incurring huge losses. Let us say in this particular year itself, he has a loss of say 40 lakhs rupees. Because of his luck or whatever reasons, suddenly he got a 50 lakhs rupees worth lottery, he won that. So he got a 40 lakhs rupees business loss and he won a lottery of 50 lakhs rupees. Now the question comes, what is his total income on which he has to pay tax? Is it 10 lakhs or is it 50 lakhs? Answer is 50 lakhs. Why? Because this 40 lakhs business loss cannot be set off against casual income. For that matter, no loss can be set off against casual income. So casual income cannot be used for setting off any loss under any head of income, whatever it may be. That's a very clear restriction on casual income. We should remember that. Another restriction also is there, which is also a logical thing. That is about incomes which are basically exempt, like agricultural income. Basically that is exempt. If somebody has agricultural income positive, that would have been exempt. If that is exempt already, that source itself is exempt already, then if there is a loss from such business, if there is a loss from such type of activity, how can there be set off possible? Not possible. So simply again, to put it in simple sentence, set off of losses arising from exempted source of incomes is not allowed. I am repeating once again, set off of losses from exempted source of incomes. Exempted source of incomes is not allowed at all. So they should not be set off, they cannot be set off at all. That is another point to be noted. These 2 points are also important points in addition to what we discussed about as provisions and the summary of provisions, which we have gone through already, and I hope all of you have studied these provisions, and a couple of questions also we solved in the earlier class. I told you how the presentation and what is the easy way of solving questions for this chapter. If you follow that, it will be very easy. If you don't follow and try to mess the things up, then naturally anything will be complex. There is simple point always to be noted. Beauty always lies in making things simple, not making them complex. More complex we make, our problem that becomes. You should make them simple. For that, all what it requires is little bit of focus, little bit of spacing between the lines, not showing conjugacy. Spacing between the lines, if we can do, all these problems can be solved very comfortably without an issue. So That is the way of solving questions under this particular chapter. Now let us continue with solving of some more questions today. I think some of the questions were not solved yesterday. Let us continue the solving of some more questions. Some of them are not big ones. These are only just, we can say, type. Some of them are very small MCQ type questions. Some of them are proper questions which were asked in the earlier exams and which can be asked again also for whatever number of marks. Questions asked earlier for 4 marks, 5 marks, 8 marks also from this chapter. Nothing to be surprised, even if a bigger question like 8 marks questions is appearing from this chapter. So very crucial chapter, and very important point is to think logically before doing anything on paper. So that is the very crucial aspect of solving questions under this chapter. Now let us look at some of the illustrations which are given in the essay material. Illustration 3. During the previous year 1920, Mr. C has the following income under the brought forward losses. Okay, let us see what he has. First of all, short-term capital gains he has on sale of shares. That is short-term capital gains. Amount is 1,50,000. That is short-term capital gain. Then, long-term capital loss related to assessment year 18-19. Not now, assessment year 18-19, but still, since that can be carried forward for a period of 8 years, can that be set off if at all possible in the current year? Of course, yes. If it is possible, this can be set off because we are not crossed 8 years. 18-19 is very recent. But there is a long-term capital loss of 96,000. Short-term capital loss of 37,000 rupees is there. Losses are given in negative here. Not necessarily. You have to read the question carefully. Always don't expect the question will spoon feed you with information. Sometimes they will just tell whether it is a gain or loss. Loss naturally could be indicated within parenthesis. If not also, we should identify it is a loss. Then there is another long-term capital gain of 75,000. That's what is there as income of this person. Of course, first point to be noted in this question is all his positives and negative incomes both are under the head of capital gains only. There is no other head which is involved here. So all are within the head of capital gains only. So all that we need to do is, first of all, take the positive incomes. Always do the same thing. So let us take short-term capital gain. Short-term capital gain. How much is the short-term capital gain? Which is given here in the question. Let us take that. How much is that? Short-term capital gain, whatever it may be. It is from the sale of shares. It's okay, doesn't matter. Amount is 1,50,000. That's it. This is the short-term capital gain. Then there is one more another positive item, that is long-term capital gain. Just leave some space. Long-term capital gain is how much? That is 75,000. Okay. So short-term capital gain is 1,50,000 positive. Long-term capital gain is 75,000 positive. While doing this, don't worry about set off, what happens, this, that. If you think like that, it will be difficult. Only just take positive incomes first. While doing that, with plain mind, you do that. Because positive incomes are anyway taxable. To the extent taxable, you have to take them. So while doing this, you should not think about set off and all. You should only think about, okay, these are positive incomes, I am taking them. Set off when you will start thinking losses. Okay, now let us take the loss. Long-term capital loss related to the assessment year 2018-19 is 96,000. So first of all, we should know the provisions in relation to long-term capital loss. Is there a restriction? Absolutely yes. There is a restriction on long-term capital loss. What is that? It can be set off only against long-term capital gain. It is not possible to be set off against short-term capital gain. Not possible. It can be set off only against long-term capital gain. But it can be carried forward for a period of 8 years. Since it is related to 18-19, this 96,000 can be set off for 8 years. So now assessment year 1920, we are now in assessment year 2021. Still 6 more years it can be carried forward, but now how much can be set off against this long-term capital gain of this year? Only to the extent of 75,000. So we can do that. That is, let us say, long-term capital loss. Just in the bracket you can say brought forward. Right? brought forward long-term capital loss. How much can be set off? That can be negative 75,000. So naturally, once these two are set off, it is going to be nil. But always, whenever there is a set of provisions, whichever income you are setting off, you should keep an eye on what can be carried forward. So we are doing here set off, and I told you already there should be an inner column and outer column always. Inner column will show calculations, outer column will give us the results. And simultaneously, now that we know the carry forward provisions also, there should be below this, ideally I am showing it beside it so that you can see it clearly. So below this, usually what you should write about is about carry forward. So what are the things which can be carried forward? For example, here the long-term capital loss of 96,000 could not be set off. It could be only set off to the extent of how much? 75,000 only. So still how much long-term capital loss is there to be carried forward? To be carried forward is, that is 21,000 rupees long-term capital loss is still there to be carried forward. But how many more years it can be carried forward? If you write in the exam, that will also be good. If not also, that's not a problem. But you should definitely write in the notes. That is compulsory. Telling that since 96,000 rupees is the loss which is brought forward from the assessment year 2018-19 and during the assessment year 2020-21, which is ours, we could set off only 75,000. It can be still carried forward to the future assessment years. How many? That also, if you can write, that will be fantastic, because this loss is related to 2018-19. Forget about that year, where the counting will start from next year. So 2019-20, 2020-21, which we did already. So 2 years is already over in 8 years. So how many more years it can be carried forward? 6 more years it can be carried forward. How much can be carried forward? That is 21,000. No way that can be set off against short-term capital gain, because there is a restriction on long-term capital gain setting off provisions. That's it. That is about long-term capital loss. Now short-term capital loss. Short-term capital loss 37,000 is there. That is capital loss we are talking. So 37,000, can that be set off against short-term capital loss? Can that be set off against short-term capital gain? Absolutely yes. Can that be set off against long-term capital gain? Normally, of course yes. But here we cannot buy, because already this is no income is available from long-term capital gain. So short-term capital loss can be set off against short-term capital gain. So naturally, how much is going to be the income here? That is, 1,13,000 is the taxable income of this particular person. And what is that? Basically only short-term capital gain is remaining. So naturally the taxable short-term capital gain of this person is 1,13,000. However, 21,000 rupees long-term capital loss can be set off for a further period of 6 years. That's it. That is what I have to write in the notes for such type of questions. Now, looking at another illustration number 4. Illustration number 4. I'm taking off all this data, or you can just take it down. So illustration number 4. Mr. D has the following income for the previous year 1920. Income from the activity of owning and maintaining resources, that is positive income 75,000. Income from textile business also positive income 85,000. Brought forward textile business loss relating to assessment year 1920, just 1 year back. So definitely that can be set off, no problem. We'll come to set off when it comes. Brought forward loss from the activity of owning and maintaining resources 96,000 from the assessment year 2017-18. So there are 2 losses, 2 profits. Let us see how this set off can be done for Mr. D. So first thing first, let us take PGBP. PGBP is the head of income we are talking. You should write full form in the exams. In that, you should write income from textile business, right? I'm just writing the short forms here. In exam, you should write full forms. Income from textile business. That is how much? That is positive, no? income from textile business is 85,000 inner column. That is 85,000 inner column. Now, then there is leave some space. Then we have another source called income from other sources. This is head of income. So this PGBP is a head of income. This is also a head of income. So within that, we have some other incomes like what? There is income from the activity of owning and maintaining race horses. So I'm just writing in a short form once again, activity of owning and maintaining race horses, right? So that is income here we are talking. So let us say income from the activity of owning and maintaining race horses. That is how much? 75,000 positive. These are the only two positive items in this question. As usual, always do this way. First, write the positive items. Then look at negative items and check where it can be set off. Simple it becomes. Now look at negative items. Brought forward textile business loss. First of all, it is a business loss. Brought forward provision we should remember, it can be set off only against PGBP head. Inter-head adjustment is not possible for brought forward losses. So this 50,000 loss can be set off against PGBP, no problem. And there is no specified business and all. Textile business is not a specified business. So these two can be very much adjusted without any issue. But number of years only you have to look at. 8 years is too much. This is only related to assessment year 1920. So 50,000 can very well be set off against the income from textile business. We are calling this as loss from textile business. You have to write full names in the examination. So if you adjust these two from PGBP, how much is the total income? 35,000. Actually, we can do this exercise at the end also. Generally, that is better. But here it's very clear, only two points are there, so it is okay. Now, brought forward loss from the activity of owning and maintaining resources, 96,000 is there related to the assessment year 17-18. So again, you have to count very carefully. 17-18 assessment year means how many years this can be carried forward? Only 4 years. So how many assessment years it is possible? So 18-19, starting from 18-19. It is related to 17-18. So 17-18 is over. Don't worry about that. In addition to that, 4 years means 18-19, 19-20, 20-21, 21-22. This can be set off only against 4 more years of activity, but we are in 20-21. So we have a positive income of 75,000. So what we have now is brought forward loss from the activity of owning and maintaining race horses. Though it is 96,000, we cannot set off 96,000. How much we can set off is only the available positive income, that is 75,000. So naturally, income from other sources from this year will be 0. But point to be noted once again, carry forward point. What is the carry forward point? How much is the loss here? 96,000. But how much could be set off? Only 75,000. Once again, incidentally, the same amount of 21,000 is their loss from the activity of owning and maintaining race horses. Point once again, better to write how many years it can be carried forward. Total 4 years. This loss is related to assessment year 17-18. So 17-18 is anyway loss related to that. 18-19 is over. 19-20 assessment year is over. 20-21 is where we have used it. So 1 more year only this can be carried forward. That is for the assessment year 21-22. If there is no income from this activity in that year, let us say next year 21-22, there is no positive income from this activity. Sir, what happens to this 21,000? Goes into the air. That's all. Goes into drainage. No adjustment is possible in future years. It will get lapsed. That's all. Nothing else will happen. If there is a positive income in the next year, that can be used for setting off this 21,000. If not, over. Set off is not possible anymore in future years. Only 1 more year only set off is permissible for such income, since the total period permissible is only 4 years. Now anyway, the overall income of this person finally is how much? That is naturally going to be 35,000, like earlier it was. Total of 1,13,000. So this is the final answers related to the total income or gross total income of that person. We can call it gross total income because deductions are yet to be given. However, More than that, important thing is how the set off is happening, and also more than that, how many years this carry forward can happen to future years. That also has to be mentioned very clearly in the note. Okay, that's it. That is question number, illustration number 4. Now, order of set off of losses and all, we have seen that. You can just quickly go through that once again. What is the order? First, current year depreciation and current year capital expenditure on scientific research, current year expenditure on family planning, then brought forward losses, then only again unabsorbed depreciation, unabsorbed capital expenditure, and unabsorbed expenditure on family planning should be deductible. So that is the sequence in which we can say the adjustment should happen normally. That is quite logical, no need of any provision for that sequence. There is no provision for that sequence. It is for the benefit of the SSC. Always within the purview of law, within the purview of the provisions of the Act, we have to do any question for the benefit of SSC, not by taking extra provisional liberty. That is not possible. So that is about question number 4 and question number 3. So let us just mark them. Question number 3, that was, this is question number 4. Now let us go to question number 5, or illustration 5 we can call that. Read it carefully. Same once again. Everything is same. Mr. E has furnished the details for the assessment year 2021. This is like this. Income from salary is naturally positive 1,50,000. Income from speculation business is there, positive income 60,000. Loss from non-speculation business is there, 40,000. Short-term capital gain, another positive item, 80,000. Long-term capital loss, negative, 30,000. Loss that is related to earlier assessment year 18-19. Winning from lotteries is 20,000 gross. We have to keep in mind always, this cannot be used for setting off any other loss. So this is untouchable. This has to be as it is, to be included in the total income of the SSC. So this is completely an exceptional item, winning from lotteries. It is already grossed, so we don't need to gross it up. Other things are clear. Now same way, we have to take headwise income. So let us take one by one. Income from salaries. Leave some space. Do we have income from a house property in this case? No. Then do we have PGBP? Yes. Let us say PGBP. This is heads of income we are talking. These are heads of income. You have to write the heads first, leaving sufficient space always in the examination. Then we have, say, capital gains. These are heads of incomes. Winning from lotteries naturally is going to be income from other sources. That is also a head of income. Income is different, head of income is different. So income from salaries is head of income. Since it is already computed, no need to deduct anything. So let us take in the inner column, naturally in the inner column we will take 1,50,000. That is income from salaries. That is 1,50,000. Only positives we are taking first as usual. Income from speculation business. Whatever business it is PGBP. No? So within PGBP you can call it income from speculative business. Income from speculative business, how much? Positive, that is 60,000. Forget about negatives. Don't worry about negatives initially. Look at positives first. Negatives we can come to them later. Short-term capital gain is there within the capital gain. So write that clearly. If you write things clearly, there will not be any confusion. Short-term capital gain, that is how much? 80,000. Okay, fine. Is also positive. Then winning from lotteries, same, write it. Winning from lottery, or you can call it casual income, but write the details whatever is given. Amount is 20,000. That's all. These are the only positive incomes we have. 1,50,000 income from salaries, 60,000 PGBP, which is actually income from speculative business, and 80,000 is short-term capital gain under the head of capital gains, 20,000 winning from lotteries under the head of income from other sources. So if we are clear about the heads of incomes, then it will be easier for us to solve the questions. Write the head of income. If there is any description possible, write it below that. If there is no description, for example, income from salaries will be salaries only, unless there is a employer 1, employer 2, like that situation. So no description is required here for income from salaries. That will be as it is. But whereas others are concerned, there is a particular description that has to be written very clearly in the question. Fine. Once we have these things, we have to go to losses and check where that can be set off. First, only 2 losses. See, our focus has to be purely on positive incomes when we talk about them. Our focus has to be purely on losses when we talk about them. That is the concentration required. While looking at positives, if our brain thinks about negatives, gone. While looking at negatives, if we are thinking about positives, not necessary. So directly go where there are negatives. Loss from non-speculation business 40,000 means a normal business loss, non-speculative business loss. How much is that? 40,000. Now the question comes, was what are the options for this setting off of the loss? Can a loss from business be set off against salary income? Yes or no? Answer is no. That cannot be set off. There is a restriction. Can that loss be set off against income from speculative business? Answer is yes. That is an important point to note. Why is that? Because the restriction is on loss from speculation business, not vice versa. Loss from speculation business cannot be set off against the income from non-speculation business. Reverse can be done. Loss from non-speculation business can be set off against income from speculation business. So there is no restriction whatsoever on doing this adjustment. So no problem. So we are talking about, here it is, loss from non-speculative business, we are calling it. That is loss from non-speculative business. So these two, can they be set off? Answer is very much yes, no problem at all. Don't go to the totals and all now. Just look at the other losses, whatever there are. Long-term capital loss related to some year, 30,000 rupees. Can that be set off? First of all, can that be carried forward for a period of 8 years? Absolutely yes. Are we within 8 years? Absolutely yes, no problem. But can that be set off against anything here? Anything that is available here, can that be set off? Not at all possible. Because once again, long-term capital loss has a restriction. Forget about carry forward. Forget about enter head. It has a restriction on enter source only. So, too much restriction on long-term capital loss, which can be set off only and only against long-term capital gain, not against short-term capital gain. So, these two things cannot be set off. So, what to do with this 30,000, sir? Nothing, sir. That 30,000 will be carried forward. No option. That 30,000 will be carried forward for a future period of how many years? That also you can write for reference. See, this is related to 2018-19 assessment year. So that year is over, 1920, and our year is 2021. So how many more years this can be carried forward? 6 more years this can be carried forward. But whichever year it is, it can be set off only against long-term capital gain. This year, unfortunately, there is no long-term capital gain. So we could not set off this loss of 30,000 loss. That's all. These are the only two losses. That means set off is over. So just take whatever the incomes are there directly. Income from salaries is this much. And PGBP is how much? Net is 20,000. And same way, this is capital gains. And this is income from other sources. Finally, the total income or gross total income of this particular SSC, which is taxable, will be 2,70,000 with a possible carry forward of long-term capital loss for a more 6 years period. That's it. That is the answer. 2,70,000 with a 30,000 to be carried forward for. In the answers, he has not given number of years, but I suggest in the examination only for those who are calculating correctly. Again, don't do mistakes there. If you calculate the number of years correctly, that gives a good impression that you know how many years it can be carried forward, how many years is elapsed, and how many more years it can be carried forward. If you write, that will be good. So 30,000, if you just leave it like it can be carried forward for subsequent assessment years. If you leave it like that, no problem. That also comfortably you can do if you want to play safe. But if you want to show off your precision, if you really have that precision, then I would suggest you write very clearly the 30,000 long-term capital loss can be set off against long-term capital gain only in relation to any of the subsequent 6 assessment years. That's all. So it can be carried forward to 6 more assessment years is the message we can convey in the note. Better to do that if we are calculating it correctly, and because we know the numbers anyway, that is always a better presentation. No, maybe I do mistakes and all, some people are less accurate. For them, you can just play safe saying that 30,000 rupees long-term capital loss can be carried forward to subsequent assessment years. That's all. We will not write how many years. Subsequent assessment years, you can just write and leave it. Either way, it's okay. Your choice according to your precision. These are the illustrations in relation to the chapter of set off and carry forward of losses. And as we discussed earlier yesterday also, in relation to the return of income, compulsory it is to file a return of income. That is almost for all the incomes, it is compulsory to file a loss return except for only two things. One is loss from house property, second one is unabsorbed depreciation. So those two can be still claimed even though there was no return of income. All other losses can be set off in future years only when return of income had already been filed in the earlier years. So what is the meaning of that? Suddenly somebody cannot come and say, oh, actually 5 years back I had a loss, I did not file return of income then, now I am going to set off against profits of the current year. Not possible. You cannot set off any loss brought forward. You cannot carry forward, first of all. You cannot set off unless a proper return of income is filed. Then only it is authentic. Then only it is possible to use the provisions of set off and carry forward. Of course, exceptions are there. Only loss from house property is possible to be set off even without return of income. Same way, unabsorbed depreciation also is possible to be set off even without filing return of income. In general, return of income has to be filed by everybody. So we don't need to worry too much about who should file, who should not file. Whoever has income which is taxable, naturally they have to file return of income. So for normal considerations for all our SSEs, they will have something taxable, so they all should file return of income. Anyway, we have a chapter on the return of income separately in future. We'll discuss those provisions anyway, again, later. Now these are the provisions and the way to solve the questions. Now let us quickly go through some of the more questions and solve them also very quickly. How to present them, I already told you with full descriptions, of course. And inner column, outer column, carry forward is a separate working note. And any other additional points also you should write as working notes depending upon the number of marks. So here, for example, long-term capital loss cannot be set off against short-term capital gain. You can write that. Same way, the loss from non-speculative business can be set off against the income from speculative business, but loss from speculative business cannot be set off against income from non-speculative business. That provision you can write. So you are not doing it by fluke, you are doing it by knowing the provisions very thoroughly is the impression that you should give to the valuer, right? So that is a way of presentation. Now let us quickly go through some of the other questions with the same way as we are talking about heads of income. Within that, source of income, first positives, then whatever negatives are there, respective positive incomes, against that we can set off. Very simple, straightforward way of calculating gross total income of any SSE from the information that is given in any question. So start one by one. First one, income from house property, positive is given. Income from business before providing depreciation, 1,35,000 is given. First choice will be always for current year depreciation. You have to remember the sequence brought forward, all these things will come later. First and foremost, current year depreciation under section 32 has to be provided. That has to be done first. Then only remaining things will come. So that is one thing. And short-term capital gain is there, the 56,000. Long-term capital loss is there, 90,000. One more point to note, short-term capital gain or loss, long-term capital gain or loss, when you look at these items, don't worry about from what. From the sale of unlisted shares, from the sale of property, that is all irrelevant. Because end of the day, short-term capital gain or loss is short-term capital gain or loss. Same with long-term capital gain or loss. Restrictions are applicable for the heads and nature of the incomes directly, not related to how they got it. Did they sell property? Did they sell diamonds? Did they sell unlisted shares? Did they sell listed shares? All those things are not going to matter for set of provisions. So don't worry about unnecessary data. Just look at core things. Short-term capital gain, long-term capital loss. That's all. 90,000 which is brought forward from assessment year 1920. It's okay, which is okay. Still 8 years is only just last year only it is. So this can be definitely set off, but only against what? Long-term capital gain. So this is a restrictive loss, not a normal thing. If there is a long-term capital gain, then only this 90,000 can be set off. If not, this cannot be set off. This has to be carried forward. We'll come to that. Income from tea business, he says 1,20,000. See, normally tea business and all, when we talk about that, that is like agricultural income. But how much is agricultural income in relation to tea business? Manufacturing and growing and manufacturing of tea in India. How much is agricultural? How much is non-agricultural? You have to remember that provisions of agricultural income. In this case, in general, there is a point to note: 60% is considered to be agricultural income. If you don't know it, also know it now. 60% of the income from tea business is treated as agricultural income, therefore exempt from tax. So naturally, how much should be treated as business income? Only 40% of that should be treated as business income. So 40% of 1,20,000 will become 48,000 only. That will be included in the total income of the SSC. Then next one is dividends from Indian companies carrying on agricultural operations. We don't care which company, what operations. Basically, dividends from Indian companies are exempt from tax up to 10 lakhs rupees. This is 80,000 only. So completely exempt. No point of set off, no point of anything else. This is exempt. Exempt means exempt. Nothing is taxable. Current year depreciation is 26,000. Of course, it should be adjusted from current year's income from business. Then brought forward business losses are there. 45,000. This losses incurred 6 years ago. 6 years ago is still okay, right? If possible, this can be set off. Yes, because it is allowed up to 8 years. So these are the positive and negative incomes which are given in relation to this particular SSEF. All that we need to do is same way, calculate the gross total income of this particular SSC. How to do that? Nothing special. One by one, first heads of incomes you have to write. Let us take income from house property as a head of income. And within that, we have what? Income from house property computed 1,25,000. Already computed, so no need to give 30% deduction and all. 1,25,000 is already given as income from house property, which is a positive income. Write it in inner column. Then PGBP, leaving some space. PGBP is another head of income. So have a heading on that. Within that, there are many things. In that, we have income from business, let us say. Income from one business. That is before providing depreciation, 1,35,000. That is a positive item also. 1,25,000 positive, 1,35,000 also positive. Leave sufficient space once again. Then you have the head of capital gains. That is head. That is head, not income. Income is what? Short-term capital gain. Let us call STCG. Short-term capital gain. How much? Positive this is also. 56,000. These are all positives we have. Income from house property positive, business income positive, before providing depreciation, and short-term capital gain 56,000 positive. In addition to that, there is another positive thing, that is income from tea business, that is 1,20,000. That also forms part of PGBP, but how much will that be? Income from tea business. Tea business we are talking. Entire 1,20,000 will not be taxable. 60% is agricultural, 40% only is business income. 40% of 1,20,000 is 48,000. That only will be taxable as PGBP income. Then we have other things like current year depreciation 26,000. Because he has given plus, don't think it is plus. Depreciation is a deduction. Definitely compulsory that is. So this has to be deducted. Under section 32, you have to write that. You can just say depreciation. Depreciation is how much? Minus that would be 26,000. Current year depreciation should be deducted. That is automatically, that is not set off and all, okay? Current year depreciation is not set off. That is basic adjustment before finding out PGBP income itself. Set off and things will come later. Now all the positives did we take care of? 125, 135. Make sure every number is taken care of. That is the key for this particular type of chapter. 1,25,000, 1,35,000, yes. 48,000 is coming from here, yes. 26,000 is coming from here, yes. 56,000 is coming from here, yes. So what are remaining now? One is this long-term capital loss 90,000. There is no way this can be set off. Why? Because long-term capital loss can be set off only against long-term capital gain, but we don't have long-term capital gain. So nothing to be set off. Automatically this has to be carried forward. So carry forward, you have to write a note very clearly. Carried forward for how many years, that also you can write a note. 90,000 rupees of long-term capital loss can be carried forward for how many more years? Assessment year 1920 is the loss related to. 2021 is our assessment year. So how many more years this can be carried forward? 7 more years this can be carried forward. So 1920 is anyway done. That is related to that. So 2021 is what we have. So that could not be used for set off. So 7 more years this can be carried forward and set off against long-term capital gains only of future years. That is one negative item what we have. Another negative item or positive item what we have here is dividends from Indian companies, that is exempt from tax. So under the head of income from other sources, just like that you can write it as a line item, income from other sources. Okay. Then we have dividends from domestic companies. If dividend from domestic company is exempt from tax, 0. You will write under section 1034, dividends from Indian companies will be exempt from tax. This note you have to write very clearly under section 1034, dividends from Indian companies is exempt up to an extent of 10 lakhs rupees. That is the exemption note in relation to the dividends. We don't need to do any calculation, just a note will be required for that. And what else is there? When we have this data, current year depreciation already we did. Brought forward business loss of 45,000. Can this be set off against this PGBP? Yes, because there is positive income sufficient. Can 45,000 be set off? Absolutely yes. That is 45,000. We can call this brought forward business losses. Brought forward business losses, 45,000 can be set off against PGBP. Can that be set off against income from house property, sir? Yes. Can that be set off against short-term capital gain, sir? Yes. But why should we do that, sir? When within the head only there is a sufficient income available, don't do unnecessary things of going to other heads. So once again, sequence has to be followed. First inter-source, intra-head we have to set off. If not available, then only inter-head will come. So don't directly set off against other things just because it is allowed, not necessary. So that is another point to be noted. These are the items, that's it. Now find out what is going to be the total income of this particular SSE. Total all these things. From PGBP itself, how much income he has got? 1,12,000. Income from house property already computed. The word computed is important. So nothing to give as 30% reduction and all. Then other things are just straightforward. Whatever we have, same things will be there. Same things will be there. So income from other sources nil. Income from house property 1,25,000. In PGBP 1,12,000. Capital gains 56,000. Total income or gross total income of this SSE will be 2,93,000. And that is the final answer here. What we have, 2,93,000. That is the gross total income of the SSE, what we have calculated. But in the note, definitely you have to write these things. One note for dividends, compulsory. One note for agricultural income of tea business, 40% business income, 60% agricultural income. Another note for this 90,000 rupees of long-term capital loss, which should be, this is what question number 1 exercises, right? So let us call this E1. So long-term capital loss of 90,000 rupees should be carried forward for a period of 7 more years. That's what you can write as another note. These notes also will carry marks, and you all know that. So in the examination, better presentation will give better marks, and these are bigger questions what we are talking about. So this question what we did just now, exercise 1, this is a typical 5 marks question, but little bigger questions going forward are there, which can be asked for something like 8 marks, 6 marks, like that. Now let us quickly go through another exercise, that is exercise number 2. So what is exercise number 2 talking about here? Mr. Sohan submits, not Ohana, Sohan. Yeah. So Sohan submits the following details of his income for the assessment year 2021. So many plus minus are there. Of course, once you got used to this type of questions, you can just generally glance what types of incomes he has and all. Look at this guy. He has salary income also, house property also. He has short-term capital gain losses also. He has other incomes also, a lot of types of income, business income also is there. So he has majorly all heads of income, particularly speaking. So as far as the headings are concerned, we can have income from salaries, then income from house property, then we have PGBP, leave sufficient space for everything, then capital gains, then income from other sources. These are the same heads of incomes, nothing else. So these are just to be considered as heads of incomes. So these are heads of incomes of anybody. This person also has them. One by one, let us take positives. Then we can see about negatives later, as usual. Nothing new. So first positives. First income from salary, 3 lakhs. Income from salary, he said. He never said computed or not. Normally, if it is like said as salary received or something, then we can give a standard deduction of 50,000. If not, we can assume that it is after standard deduction of 50,000. No sir, I want to compute standard deduction also. You do that, no problem. Don't worry. But let us assume this 3 lakhs is after the standard deduction, because he used the word income from salary, means that is the head of income he was talking about. Taking that as a Q, we can take 3 lakhs as income from salaries. That is what is given positive income. Then income from sugar business is there 50,000, which will come under PGBP naturally. So under PGBP, sugar business is there. And in the PGBP, sugar business, let us say income from sugar business. Okay. Income from sugar business, positive item, that is 50,000. Just write it under PGBP. Next, another positive things. This is loss and all. Long-term capital gain, 40,000 is there. So within capital gains, write this, long-term capital gain. Just positives. Don't worry about negatives now. That is how much? 40,000. So we have income from salary 3 lakhs, income from sugar business 50,000 under PGBP, long-term capital gain 40,000 plus item. These are the positives we have. Income from other sources has dividend 5,000, but dividend income is, dividend from domestic companies is exempt from tax. So nothing will be taken. If you take 5,000 also, this will be exempt from tax under section 1034. Then we have income received from lottery winnings 50,000 gross already. So income from lottery winnings, let us say, that is 50,000. Nothing can be set off against this. That should be kept in mind. But since it is a positive item, that also we have taken. Same way, winnings from card games. This is also casual income. Winning from card games. Whatever is given in the question, that only you write as description. Nothing to create any stories here. Winning from card games. How much? 6,000. Which head of income it falls under? Income from other sources called as casual income. That is also there as 6,000 taxable under income from other sources. Agricultural income 20,000 is also exempt. So 5,000 dividend is exempt. Agricultural income 20,000 is exempt. These two do not require any place here actually. You don't need to write anything here. You can just write a note separately. That would be enough. Wherever the income is exempt from tax. So we have taken salary income. We have taken this sugar business income, and we have taken long-term capital gain already. Dividend is exempt. These two are okay, already taken. And 20,000 agricultural income is also exempt. And only one more income is, this is bank interest on fixed deposit. Interest, bank interest on fixed deposit it is called. So bank interest on fixed deposit is how much? 5,000, right? So that is 5,000 fixed deposit, that is. So definitely taxable under income from other sources. That's all. These are all positive items which we have already taken. Either they are falling under any other head of income what we have, or they are exempt. One of them should happen, no doubt. So income from house property, there is no positive item. So there is nothing here required. In exam, if you write it, leave it blank, no problem. So income from house property, there is no positive, only negative is there. PGBP, we have to see income from salary and other things. Everything, whatever is positive, we have taken. Either we have taken or it is exempt. So take the number. In the exam also, take this as a control point. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 items should be there. Do we have them? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 items only we have. Then you have to check what happened to different 2 items. Which 2 items are those? Yes, one is dividend exempt, so we did not take. Another one is agricultural income exempt. So we did not take. So total 8 items matched. Every point you have to be very controlled in the examination. Then only score will come. Just like that, casually solving something and expecting marks will not happen. So that much care is required. Precision is required in any exam, more particularly in income tax. Particularly these type of chapters, it requires more attention also. Why? Because yes, they are very easy, simple when we follow a proper approach. If not, the same thing can be very complicated and it will completely give us a negative outcome also. That risk is there here. So it depends upon how thorough we are with the provisions and how we are practicing, and most importantly, are we following a proper scientific approach or not? Are we just like that, putting something on paper and something somehow calculating? Then naturally it will not be that easy. So approach is very important, particularly for this chapter. Now, after all the positive incomes being placed at respective heads of income and exempt incomes being already excluded, which require definitely a special note. Now we have to go through the losses one by one. Loss from the let out house property, there is 40,000 rupees. So when there is a loss from the house property 40,000, I told you already, you don't have to blink. Automatically, first thing first, what you will do, you will adjust it against income from salaries. That is the best combination. These two are the best Judva combination. So there is no need to think about anything else. Straight away. Loss from house property means loss from house property automatically should be set off against income from salaries. That's it. Sir, can it be set off against others also? We know, sir, it can be set off. But we have already discussed the reason. Because salaries has a restriction of adjusting losses from PGBP and other things, better to set off loss from house property against salary first. Because against salaries, that is only one thing that can be set off. When that is the only thing available, better to use it. No? PGBP loss you cannot set off against salary income. Capital gains loss you cannot set off against salary income. It cannot be set off against any other head of income also. Income from other sources will not have any loss. So what loss you will set off against salary income? Nothing. But it is there positive, asking you to set it off against something, which will use. Naturally, loss from house property. So no second thought on that. Directly, blindly you can do that after practicing many questions. Then coming to other things like loss from iron ore business, which is 1,20,000 rupees, which is a brought forward loss. It is not related to current year. If it is current year loss, it's okay. It can be set off against any head of income. But it is a brought forward loss, so it has to be set off against PGBP only. No other income head is possible. 1,20,000 is there. But do we have that much PGBP here? Do we have that much? No, sir, we don't have that much because our sugar business is giving only 50,000. So how much can be set off? Only 50,000 can be set off immediately. That means remaining 70,000 can be carried forward. Yes. Another point comes. How many years? These are the places where you can actually ignore this calculation because time may not permit. You can say it can be carried forward to subsequent years. But if you have little bit of more time available, you can just check that. See, understand this business is discontinued in 14-15 previous year. Naturally, assuming this loss is also related to previous year 14-15, means assessment year 15-16 is the year for which this loss is related to. 15-16 assessment year is over. In addition to that, it can be carried forward up to 8 years. Discontinued, not discontinued, doesn't matter. 8 years is possibility of carry forward of any business losses. So 15-16 is over. So 15-16 is over. That is anyway the year in which this loss is there. Right from 16-17 our countdown will start. So 16-17, 17-18, 18-19, 19-20, 20-21. We are talking assessment years, not previous years. Assessment year 15-16 is over. Starting from 16-17, 17-18, 18-19, 19-20, 20-21, which is our assessment year. 5 years is already finished. So how many more years this can be carried forward? 3 more years. This remaining 70,000 rupees can be carried forward. That you should write in the note. That gives you marks. 6 marks, 8 marks will not come just like that for these calculations. Notes to these working notes are very important for scoring. Then coming to the next point, short-term capital loss of 60,000 is there. Can that be set off against long-term capital gain? Can short-term capital loss be set off against long-term capital gain? Is there any restriction, sir? No restriction, sir. There is restriction against what? Long-term capital loss cannot be set off against short-term capital gain. Short-term capital loss, vice versa, can be set off against long-term capital gain. But point is only to the extent of whatever is available for set off. 40,000 is only available for set off. Only 40,000 we can set off. Then question comes, what about the remaining 20,000? Naturally, that 20,000 has to be carried forward. This 70,000 is business loss. This is PGBP. This is capital gains loss, which can be carried forward. Short-term capital loss, remaining 20,000 can be carried forward. This is for another 8 years, because this is related to this year only. Further 8 more years, this can be 20,000 carried forward and set off against the future capital gains. Doesn't matter whether it is long-term or short-term. When it is the set off of short-term capital losses, both long-term capital gain and short-term capital gain are okay, against which this can be set off. There is no restriction on this. Remember the provisions very carefully. Restriction was only on long-term capital loss, but not on short-term capital loss. So 20,000 can be happily set off against any capital gain income, not other incomes, capital gain income in future. Now somebody may think that, sir, this 20,000 can it be set off against other heads of income of the same year? Is it possible? No, sir, that is also not possible. Why? Capital gains has restriction on inter-head adjustment also. Capital gains losses cannot be set off against other heads of income at all. So only way remaining is carry forward to 8 more years. That is the other negative income. So the last negative income is there. That is short-term capital loss under 111A. That is also there. That is also short-term capital loss. This is also short-term capital loss. This is also short-term capital loss. But only difference is this is 111A, which means what? Sale of listed shares. Doesn't matter. Loss is loss. That is 10,000 rupees. And naturally that also can be carried forward for 8 more years. So total capital gains, how much can be capital losses actually? Under the head of capital gains can be carried forward. 30,000 rupees can be carried forward for 8 more years. Both are same. Total short-term capital loss that can be carried forward is 30,000. So these are not different. No need to separately carry forward. Total short-term capital loss that can be carried forward is 30,000. How many years? 8 years. That is same. What about PGBP loss? That can be carried forward for 3 more years only. How much? 70,000. These are notes. This is carry forward related notes. Actual question is this. That's all. Now let us do the calculations. So after setting off what is the total of these two, that comes to 2,60,000. And when we do the same thing here, 0. When we do the same thing here, 0. And here there is nothing special. All these things to be added. So what is the total amount here of income of this particular SSC? 3,21,000. That is the final answer. Should be ideally yes. 3,21,000 is the gross total income of this SSC. And notes to be written, of course, provisions related to set off also notes can be written. But carry forward is compulsory. That is part of the expectation. Though asked or not asked, you should definitely write this. Here is asking calculate gross total income and losses to be carried forward. Even though this is not asked, you should write clearly how much amount can be carried forward, for how many years it can be carried forward, preferably. The second item is your choice, but definitely amount and head definitely should be written. So what are the items to be carried forward? As we already have discussed, 70,000 rupees PGBP, 30,000 rupees capital gains. Capital gains means heads we are talking. This is loss from iron ore business. These are short-term capital losses which can be carried forward for a period of 8 more years. That's it. These are the points to be noted. And other things you have to write, particularly the notes for wherever exempt incomes are there. Like we have dividend income under section 1034, agricultural income under section 10 subsection 1. These things you have to write very clearly in the notes. Okay. This is the way we have to solve the questions in this chapter, set off and carry forward of losses. In the next session, we'll solve some more questions which are there in the ICA material, with which we'll close the practice of the questions. Afterwards, you should solve some more questions for your practice. I will tell you what questions to be solved. I will give some assignment to you later after completing the remaining questions of ICA material in the next class. Till that time, we have to be thorough with the provisions, of course, as usual, and naturally we have to be thorough with all the provisions in relation to the set off and carry forward, and remaining questions we can solve in the next class. That's all. Yeah. Thank you and take care. Bye.